don't you look at me? I've tried to be as open as I can. Why don't you look at me? I'm tired of being the invisible man. The invisible man. Oh, the invisible man.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to another edition of The Invisible Man. My name is Mark David Stallard, and of course with me is my very good friend, Ryan Janz. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
There we go.
It's a nice day when it's not minus 1,000 in Winnipeg.
It
so
is.
I'll take clear, windy, and messy any day of the week as opposed to
for sure.
As opposed to like having to, bundle up and be like, oh.
Yes, it's actually it is rather nice. Yesterday was really quite brisk, and today it's positively balmy, or am I balmy? I forget. One of the most, whichever definition of the word you choose to use. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for watching. If you can, please like the stream, share, subscribe, follow, and whatever else you do for the particular platform that you're watching on. And we really appreciate that. It really does help us out. And obviously, the more people we have watching, the more fun we have, the more people in the chat. And I'd like to encourage you all to put your questions in the chat for our special guests. So, I think now's a good time to actually introduce our special guests. So today, our guest is a local band from here in Winnipeg, a duo. Two guys who create a sound that can only be described as a cocktail of pop, folk, and jazz. One reviewer said of their debut CD, feels a bit bare-naked ladies, yet an updated version. Another wrote, very sweet and charming, jazzy, easy grooving. I think these guys know what they're talking about. So without further ado, let's join me in welcoming It's All in the Mind. Oh, crap.
Well,
where are they?
I'd love to welcome them. Yeah, where are these guys? They don't even show up on time.
Oh, man. Those guys are, that's embarrassing. Sorry, everyone.
I thought we had problems with hosts showing up late. Now we got guests showing up late.
Right. Well, what are we going to do?
Well, I guess we could just talk about our stuff for the next little while.
Okay, we'll talk about our stuff.
All right.
And it just so happens, by coincidence, that's the name we use. It's All in the Mind. There we go. Okay.
We are. It's All in the Mind.
Well, we should have practiced that because I think it was a little flatter than I don't. Well, anyhow, there we go.
We do actually, contrary to what we've been trying to fool you all with, we do actually have a plan for this show. As you'll see later on, we do have a video. It's not the first time we've gone up on an opening, as you'll see later on by one of our videos that we are more than excited to show you. But now,
yes, actually, we have two videos. So we're going to have. I did promise some live music, that I would play some live music. I've actually pretty much spent most of this week in Ontario working, so I wasn't able to practice, and I don't really want to do live stuff and not practice because you deserve the best. So we've actually got a live performance that Ryan and I did in our last live show before the Dreaded Plague, which we did at Joe Black, so that's coming up. And we're also going to be doing playing the video, a really old video actually, which was off our single I'm Alive, must have got it was, which is before I could do animation, so it's actually the pre-animation stuff, so that'll be interesting as well, and it seems to strangely hold up. I was kind of surprised as I was going through it. Anyway, so that's coming up. So, Ryan, the image that we had up, I'm gonna bring it back up again. The image that we had for the promo right at the beginning was this place where the world was black and white except for this green thing that we were standing in.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes, I very much remember that.
What was going on here?
So, any local Winnipeggers and so for the benefit of our non-Winnipeg audience, because there are a few of you out there, what happens is we have two rivers in Winnipeg, the Assiniboine and the Red River, and they meet, and there's a gathering place and big park and facility called the Forks. And so one winter they decided they were going to issue a contest out, and I can't remember if it was to the as engineering or something to do with the University of Manitoba, probably the University of Winnipeg, and all these various places around. They said to see who, because they opened up the trail, on a skating trail on the rivers, and they wanted to have these really neat, unique huts where people could come in, get out of the weather. Not in this picture, you can't see it, but we have actually the privilege of playing on that thing twice. The first time we were there, they had that little stove that's in the corner there. Was going, so you could warm your hands up, and they had hot chocolate. So we were thinking the second time we'd go do this, hey, this would be great. And there was no hot chocolate, and the stove was not going.
Nope.
And it was just as miserably cold, but differently. It was a different miserably cold. The first time it was like January, minus 40, and we're sitting there playing, and you would like play one song, and you'd be like over there, and be like, okay.
Actually, I'm looking at that picture. Actually, that would have been the second time because there's no one around. When we did the first time, there were people up on there with us. It looked like a huge stage. It was actually quite a small stage. That's a fisheye lens. And there was people out there. There was a coffee, hot chocolate urn full of hot chocolate on the table there behind us. And I'm not
really
wearing
nice.
a big ugly red hat. I was wearing a big ugly red toque the first time around.
Now, interestingly enough, so this would have been about 7 years, not quite to the date, but it would have been around this time, just early spring. And so the first time we went on, you could drive your car on the ice. It was like solid, like it had frozen, like probably a meter thick. So you could drive like anything on there, and you wouldn't have worried. Well, we get here, and it's like you said, it's end of February, March, and I kind of hop from the edge onto the ice, and Mark is walking along and takes a step and plunges his foot directly into this soft bit of snow that goes bloonk right in there. And he goes, "Uh-oh." I turn around and look, and he's got his foot half.
It was actually a little
water.
scary because I don't think. I've been in Winnipeg for a while, but I don't think I've really ever spent much time on the river. And it was like solid the week before. And then we come out this one, and suddenly I'm actually on the river. My foot's going down, and I went up to almost up to my knee.
Yeah, and I mean, it is scary. I mean, it wasn't like it was like super mild like it was today, where you could just sort of like shake it off and be a little uncomfortably cold. It was still had quite a bit of bite to it, and it was that damp cold, like almost Toronto.
Yeah, it was because it was. I mean, my I was wearing runners, I think, at the time. No, I was wearing some heavy shoes. But they were shoes, so my foot was cold. I thought, I can battle through this. But there was just enough a bit of wind. I'm thinking, this is going to cool my foot down insanely.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to lose my foot. So I'm like, that's it. I'm going home. So I scrambled back up the bank. Yeah, so it's kind of funny.
Well, and like good musicians, we actually showed up early because we wanted to get there and, maybe watch, because they had like people cycle through all the way through, like, probably 20 acts throughout the day, and we were just one of many. So we figured we'd come and watch a couple acts and then jump on and see if there's anybody else who wants to maybe do a gig, do some musician networking, and try and get some fans. There wasn't many people skating that day, and from what I remember, there wasn't a ton of people playing that day either. It wasn't exactly the most rousing success. We were much better go around the first time. But what I do remember, and I don't want to bash too many local musicians, but there was a sort of a couple of people who were at, we've said it many times, at the Loft Gastropub. We used to play there a lot, and there was a couple of guys who would do open mic night with us, and they were there, and we were like, hey, how's it going? It's Mark and Ryan. And they're like, who are you? It's like, from the Loft. We play at the Loft. And like, oh, don't talk to us. Like,
yeah. No, they didn't say that, but that was the attitude. It was really quite odd. I mean, most people are friendly. We are friendly in Manitoba, but it was rare enough that it really stood out, and it was kind of really, really, really strange. Actually, I just want to say hi to Brandy Vizina, who's joined us. So hi, Brandy. And Muttley has joined us, who apologises for being late. Chatting to mates at work. I can't believe it. You should be here watching us. Happy National Pie Week. Oh, interesting. I didn't know there was such a thing.
National Pie Week?
Sounds great.
I mean, we're talking like actual pastry pie, not like 3.14 calculate circles, right?
Unlikely, unless you cut into thirds.
Okay. There we go. little bit of nerd joke there.
Indeed. Yeah, but I mean, I'll stop you now because you could go on forever.
Oh yes. If you anyone who's
recurring, it's a recurring joke. I tell it every time.
I'll science anything I want to here. So
excellent.
Yes, it'll go into infinity. Yes,
there we go.
There we go.
All right.
So, anyways, we all, every one of us, obviously has a start to our career, and Mark and I obviously have no exceptions. We obviously didn't always play together, but we had our first gig together. I want to say, when was that, Mark? That was
2012, I think.
2012 or 2013?
No, I think it was 2012.
Yeah, see, that would have been about right in that area there too. Like not well. I guess we would have.
Well, let's check
for a little while
it
at
was
that
the
point.
year before we released our CD, so let me just check the date on the CD.
Yeah, right there you go.
There we go. Oh, did I not have the
2013? So it would have been 2012. So that is 9 years we've been playing together.
There we go. All right.
And
I don't have the date.
Mark, do you remember our first gig together? I honestly remember it just like as clear as a bell. I remember playing.
Yes, I do. Actually, you know what? Let's just have a couple of look at these pictures here. Just this is on day. This is on the first day at Higgy Huts, and it was so cold enough that I'm wearing a silly red hat. And yeah, we go. I got another one as well, so you can get an idea of just the actual. Oh, you can't really see too much there. But yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I just remember that harsh and that green. It was actually more of like a yellow. But it was just a harsh. It was blinding. It was that neon. Like I remember that.
Oh, I say shout out to the actual who was it that did the photographs again?
That was Madison.
Madison, there we go.
Madison Dejanets. I haven't really talked to her that much in the last little while. Every once in a while we see each other on Facebook and say hi, that kind of stuff. But yeah. Mads was another person who used to hang out who used to hang out at the Loft and would photograph a lot of the acts that would go up on for open night or open mic night. And yeah, just was a really cool person to hang out with. And it's unfortunate that we just kind of grew apart as friends, but whatever. We're no bad blood or animosity. It's just life went this way for her and us this way, and that's how it went. Yep. So, Mads, if you were watching, thanks for being awesome and taking those pictures for us.
Oh, we've got a little bit of chat going on there. Muttley's just confirming pie is a proper northern food. I got meat and potato pie in the oven. Oh, nice. That sounds good, actually. I always like the minced beef and onion myself. Nice and juicy with lots of gravy. Anyhow. I'll do steak and kidney at a push, but the minced beef and onion was my favourite. Anyhow, and
pie, man. I mean, if there's a flaky crust, and it doesn't matter what the filling is for me, except pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin pie. That's the only pie I don't like.
There we go. So back on to topic then. The first, show was actually a charity show that we did at Scope, and. For some reason, I thought it would be fun. Let's do a Beatles show with Beatles music. And I can't remember where that started from, whether it was just something I wanted to do or whether I was asked to do it there. But
no, it was because Bond, like Dr. No, was like 60 years to that date. Because I remember doing a little interstitial piece of material. And Dr. No
wasn't why we did
like
the Beatles.
What's that?
That wasn't why we did the Beatles.
No, that's why we did. But we did a tie-in, and I remember saying that you could have gotten into a cab to go see. Oh shoot, what was it? It was you could go to see Bond, and it was probably here on the radio this tune, and then it was like a segue into like Twist and Shout or something.
No, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was. I can't remember if that was really why I did it. I remember saying that. It does sound.
It was a loose tie-in,
but it was definitely
not the.
I just written the Bond song, right? He's going to find you.
Yeah.
More news about that later, people. So hang around. And it involves recordings and round things. Right. There we go. A little teaser. Anyhow, so. For some reason, that was what we decided. So we decided to go ahead and do the Beatles. So this was the first poster for us. Now we weren't. It's all in the mind at the time. It was Mark David Stallard. Actually, now it was featuring Ryan Janz on bass. And if you look behind me, you can see. Let's see which way is that way. You've got. I can't even see it. It's too small on my screen. So you got Mark David Stallard and on this side. Mark David Stallard featuring Ryan Janz. That was the banner we had behind us playing. And the other side is, okay, I've got to give them equal billing. So now it's Mark David Stallard and Ryan Janz. And then when we started to have invite drummers to join us, I think I've said this before.
That's when we tried to come up.
I didn't want to just keep adding names, so it's like, okay, let's name the band. We'll call it "It's All in the Mind."
Yeah.
And so that's why you're seeing that on.
There
the
was
screen.
like a 2-week process of coming up with stupid, like every kind of really clever names to really stupid names, as all band iterations go. And I've said it before, it's the moment I secretly dread whenever I've been in a band, because most bands that I've been in, they don't make it past the naming stage. You have like 5 or 6 good rehearsals and you're like, yeah, we got a good groove. And then you name yourself and then it's like, it just all rolls off from there. But here we are, like 9 years later, and we're still, we've obviously had to do things apart, but we're still collaborating, we're still making music, and still finding a way to perform. So I do
want to say that I am really quite shallow. I look at the poster, and I'm still madly in love with my guitar. It's still here. See, there she is. You see her? She had to feature her. Hey,
yeah. Well, I remember I laugh because I still have one of those cardigans sitting in my. I just never wear cardigans anymore, and for like 4 years, I would just wear cardigans, and I had a blue zip up hoodie that I had bought, and that was my, well, partially because I was poor, but that was my wardrobe. I had a green and white and black plaid shirt. That's what that was under there, and a gray. There it is. Yeah, a gray cardigan with a flat cap, and that was my look for about 5 years almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been right.
Yeah, this was actually, as it turned out, I'm not really getting, it sounds like I'm coming to the punchline. As it turned out, we actually, a lot of the songs that we learned for this show, we still do. They're still a big part of our live show as well. So we're, so actually, and it was funny because I've always been an original performer with my original music, and even to this day we don't do that many covers. So it was odd that, it's kind of odd that we did a Beatles show for that first one. Just because I can't remember why, what other than I like Beatles music was why we did it. And we're doing it again as soon as we can. I don't know if it'll even be this year, but we're going to be doing it. We are going to do a Beatles show with Load, another Winnipeg band. So there'll be Kyle Hauser and I think Brennan Saul is I'm assuming he's still the drummer. And so it'll be the 4 of us on stage, and Luce will jump on as well at some point and join in. So we will be doing that. We've been talking about it for a year and a half now, isn't it?
Easily.
We got shut down since because of COVID.
When we first initially were talking, I think it was probably really started talking after the first filming of Cannabis Castle, when we all had a big jam session, and we all just hung out and played after the filming of Cannabis Castle, and that would have been it. And that is not, we didn't put the trippy image up there to make you think about cannabis.
No, actually, I was just trying to think.
You're things with the filter.
I was just thinking, oh no, you're still talking. I shouldn't have covered your face, so I apologize there, Ryan.
It's all good. It's all good.
So this was actually taken by a friend of mine, and then he colorized it and sent it to me. But we were playing a particular song. Do you remember what it was?
Is that Strawberry Field Forever? Was that?
I think it was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
That was my second choice. It was either than Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds or Strawberry Fields.
Yeah. So I think that was actually we had originally planned to end on Hey Jude. I thought a nice big anthem song, people with their phones out instead of their lighters, or was it, there was no smoking indoors then, right? It wasn't that long ago that we were allowed smoking indoors. And about halfway through, someone got up to the front of the stage and said, "Oh, can you do Hey Jude?" And I'm like, I was planning to do that. And then I'm leaving now. And she goes, okay, we'll do it for you then. And I'm like, what are we going to do for our finale? And then we ended up doing Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And it was such a success. We had the room joining in, and I was urging them on. And it was such a success. We do that, I wouldn't say every show, but many shows will end on that song and get the room joining in with us.
Yeah, no, it's proven to be one of those really good. I don't know. I want to say happy accident that we learned all those Beatles songs, because
it was
that
intentional.
has opened up.
We intentionally learned them.
Yes, well, I mean, but a happy accident in the sense that we learned them early, and that really opened up more doors for us, because there's a lot of bars and places in Winnipeg that won't let you play if you're just originals. They want you to play some standards, and when you can say that, we can play about 30 different songs, and the majority of them are Beatles songs that most people will know. Oh yeah, no problem. You can come up on stage with you. Whereas and then we'll say, well, we'll mix in like 5 or 6 originals, and they're sure, fine, whatever. But they want you to mostly play covers, right? So
yeah, indeed. You know what? And talking of playing live shows, we're about 20 minutes in. This is when we like to play a tune. So we're going to play one of the videos, and I'm thinking let's do the Joe Black Coffee Bar.
Right.
Now this one was our last live show. Okay, just looking at the chat there. We'll come to that in a minute, Muttley. All right. So we'll just move on to the video first, though. This is the last live show we did before we were shut down. Before the world was shut down. Joe Black Coffee Bar. This was December 28th. Yeah, so it was right there. Yeah. We were just about. We had one right after shutdown as well. We had one planned. Anyhow, so here it is. It's and obviously we didn't record this for you guys. We did this live, so if it looks like we messed up, it's all part of the show. It is intended.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Right. We practiced it that way.
There we go. So, actually, why don't you introduce the song? So, Never Goes the Way You Want. This one.
Yeah. Okay. So, the history of this song was, I had a friend, and I was hanging out at her place one day, and it got to be like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we just go back to her apartment, and you think the sensible thing to do would be like, okay, here's the couch, go crash, right? And she's like, okay, well, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I was like, great. So here I am walking from West Broadway area at about 3 in the morning, walking home to East Elmwood, because that's where I was living, like Nairn Overpass, where everybody's in.
How far away is that, would you say, Ryan, just so the non-Winnipeg people have a clue?
It's probably a third away across the city. It's probably like close to 10 kilometers. I wouldn't be surprised if it was close to 10 kilometers.
So it's about 6 miles, give or take?
6-ish, somewhere in that range. So, so trudging down the streets, like, I wasn't dressed for like 2 a.m. like just like in a sweater and like just trudging. I was like, just keep walking, right? And so it's the first time I've had to do the trudge home. So I said, Mark, we're gonna write a song about this, and I had sort of given a bit of a riff, and I said, I don't care what the rest of the song is about, but the theme of the song or the core of the song has to be about you're walking home, you screwed up, and that's basically the crux of it. So here we go. And it has to be sort of somber. It's like this. Now you're going back and rethinking all the things that you. My goodness, you didn't even let me crash on the couch.
Okay, there we go. So Never Goes the Way You Want.
This is it. It's a song called Never Goes the Way You Want.
Long walk home, and I'm as cold as stone. Wondering what I did or what I said. Oh, nothing to make it right. Got time to talk to myself. Don't do nothing at all but fight. It never works out. I should know it never goes the way you want. It's not for me. Car's going way too far, and then the bus goes and flashes hard. Oh, I had enough, I need a drink, looking for someplace close. The neon light calls to me, but the sign says they're closed. It never works out. I should know it never goes the way you want. It's not for me. When I get home, I hope that you'll be there. An empty hope, I know, but I've got to believe you can. Everyone's got to have faith in something wrong. That's what makes me strong. It's not wishful thinking, no. The wind blows so hard, and the house looks oh so dark. I pat myself down at the front door. Where the hell are those keys? I sit on the step with my head in hand. Oh, what's to become of me? It never works out. I should know it never goes the way you want. It's not for me. When I get home, I hope that you'll be there. An empty hope, I know, but I've got to believe you can. Everyone's got to have faith in something wrong. That's what makes me strong. It's not wishful thinking, no. It's not wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. It's not wishful thinking. It's not wishful thinking.
Turn your mic on, Mark.
And there you have it. That's proof that we're actually musicians and we do play music. We don't just interview other people.
There we go. Okay, let's look at the comments there. I think there was... so, Muttley, thank you so much. I bought the album from Bandcamp. So looking forward to hearing what you sound like. Love and sausages. So if you don't like it, okay, keep it to yourself. Hopefully you will. It was a lot of fun, actually. It's my favorite album of all time, and I am biased. I am.
Well, wait till something new comes out. Then there might be some.
That's right. We should tease that some more. Yeah, we've got we're about halfway through the show. All right, so let's quickly get through here. So talking about your intro, Ryan. That's a fair hike. I hope you were drunk enough so that it didn't seem to take as long.
Nope, not at all. I was stone sober, and if I had been even just a little bit tipsy, that very brisk 2 a.m. cold air would have just sobered you right up. I guarantee it.
Yes. Actually, what was that sign? It was the neon lights calls to me, but the sign says they're closed. I think that was a good line, Mark.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I have some other folks have asked me about this again, either at a show or was, why didn't you just take a cab? I was like, I was broke. I couldn't afford a cab. If I was paying for a cab, I would have walked halfway and then paid for a cab. Like, that's how broke I was. And then it's like, well, you could have taken the bus. I'm like, not at 2. Bus service stops at like 1. Like, you're not nothing, man. Like 2:00 in the morning, I was not expecting to have to like walk home. I was thinking, okay, I'll just, it was one of those weird. It was prior to me and my wife getting married, and so I had this sort of weird relationship with this girl, and we weren't quite sure what was going on, and she's like, okay, you can leave now.
Yeah, so careful how much details you give, how many details you give. All right, just saying.
Well, what I can say, like, that's all there is to it. It's
what really happened. Okay.
That's basically how it went down. So, and Muttley, thanks. That was some fat bass right there. And you can if you look carefully, you can see the terrified moments when I'm trying to desperately remember what I had written for that song.
No, I think that we weren't as rehearsed then as we had been, because of many reasons that were out of our control. One of them being we didn't practice. But I think that when we originally were putting that together, there was room for 2 breaks, and if we were to have and we practiced with a guitarist, we were going to play an encore with them, and we were going to do this song with them, and then we're going to have a really long guitar solo at the end. So there's room for that in there, and we want a nice bluesy, jazzy blues guitar solo at the end. So we'll have the bass solo first. Anyway. Dreams that dream didn't come true, unfortunately.
Didn't pan out as
that's not a story for another day. That's a secret.
Yeah, exactly. All 3 of you watch right now.
Right, so I'm going to try and get the right images up here. But now is probably a good time. Wait me a second there. Just got to get all these in. Get all my ducks in a row. Quack. Quack and quack. There we go. Right. So this is the cover for our CD. It's All in the Mind by It's All in the Mind. Or is it just a single, or It's All in the Mind, and you have to assume it's both? We don't know. Actually, when we came out with that, we didn't think of that far ahead. So what we are doing, we got a whole load of recording. What's that? Recording's not the right word, is it? Lots more music coming out, and because we didn't really do much of a release with this CD, we just kind of got a few CDs printed and handed a few out and sold a few. We didn't really push it, and it was all done quite. We did pretty much recorded everything in our basement, or my basement, or yours actually was. I think we mixed it up. And then
the vast majority was recorded at your place, but there was a few songs that we did at my place. And in fact, the opener to this album, going in, we recorded it at my place, and we could not, for the life of us, get rid of the buzz on my guitar. You don't hear it when we're performing, or you have to really listen for it when we're performing. But nothing we could do could get rid of that buzz. And I was supposed to just open it and just with a nice little walk. And nothing we could do. So Mark ended up putting a drum loop over it, and that's how we fixed it. Because I had pads, we had different pickups, and where is it here? I've got I tried feeding through different DIs with pads and all kinds of filters. Nothing. I'm not going to pull my amp out, but I had an amp, and tried different ports, directs in, directs out, running everything that we could possibly do to try and kill that buzz. And it just wouldn't.
You just reminded me. Right, so go and listen to that song, and it actually starts off, and then it's silent. That wasn't supposed to be silent. That was just the bass was supposed to just ring. But we had that buzz. It was going. So what I did was I cut it out, and I thought, we're going to have to redo this. And I cut it out in Cubase, and then I found some drum loops that really fit very well, and it ended up that it works. That when we stopped it, boom, and then boom, and then it starts up again. And I'm like, damn, that works really well. And so since then, we recorded it, and then we released it like that. We now play it live that way. We go, we stop, and then we start again after every verse, after every chorus. I mean, yeah. So it was a happy accident.
Yeah, no, that's one of those things. Generally, okay, so like I love playing, I love performing, I love writing music. I hate recording. I've decided over the years that we've done it, I hate it because I was doing some recording this morning for some of our new stuff that we've mentioned, and we'll continue to tease because we're like that. There's nothing that freaks me out more, and I've recorded with different bands. I've recorded for myself. I've recorded for all kinds of things. Nothing is more terrifying to me than hitting that record button, because what I think it sounds like here and what my speakers are saying don't line up at all. And sometimes it's extremely frustrating to try, because you have it, and just trying to, I guess it was a little different when we did this album because I wasn't working or had such sporadic work that I had lots of time to practice so that we could just lay down tracks, and it would be like 5 or 6, quick takes, and then we're good. We're done. Well, I had like 20 different takes this morning to try and get this.
It was a tough
song.
One. Now, just so we can get past the old...
factors,
I just want to get past the old CD, and then we can continue the conversation, just we have the same image up.
Yeah.
Now, normally you said that you had just bought the CD, so we are actually working on a remastered version. What that really means is there is going to be a slight difference in the sound. It's going to have a little bit more body, a little bit brighter. And to be in all honesty, if you've already got the CD, you're probably not going to notice a big difference. So, but if you're a collector, you will want it. Reason we're doing it that way is just so that we didn't really release it properly in the first place. So we just kind of trigger that. We're actually going to make a bit of a bigger deal out of this one. Our audience base has grown, and we're going to make a little bit of a big deal. So we've remastered it, and this is what's coming. So it's basically the same songs. Like I said, if you already have the old one, great. You're not really going to notice that big a deal. But we're going to re-release this, and we're going to pump it up a little bit, and it'll be available both as a CD or as a digital download as well. And this gives us an opportunity to release this using DistroKid and other services, so that we might just get a little bit more attention for, albeit an old CD. Muddy says if it's on CD, I'll buy it. Can only find digital version on Bandcamp. Okay, excellent. I'll let you know.
Oh, that's fair enough.
We'll be doing that. I'm not sure who's going to be doing the physical CDs. But either way, if we do have them available online, then I'll let you know. And if we don't have them online, I'll make sure you get a copy, Muddy. Okay. So here we go. So that's the idea behind that, and I've also going to be doing the same thing with my solo CD, which is A Promise of Better Days. And again, this one actually was completely. It was a friend of mine, Rob Daniels. Actually, you would have seen his name on the Beatles poster. We didn't go into that, but he was scheduled to open for us and then didn't turn up on the night.
Rob.
And we did actually. He did. I did apologize, and we made up. But before this, he had recorded my CD. As an EP, 5 songs, or was it 6 songs? I forget now. But I was listening to it on the way home yesterday. I really like it, but then I'm biased, obviously. And we're going to do the same thing. This one was Rob actually recorded it, did all the work. He recorded it all. All I had to do was turn up and sing. He brought me in to mix, but there wasn't too much of a mixing thing going on. And then he said, well, we can get it mastered. You should go get it mastered. No, you give it a go. So and he did a really good job, actually. So we released it with his masters. There's a lot more dynamics in the audio than there would have been had we got it professionally done, because they really put a lot of compression on the professional mastering, which this kind of folky adult contemporary stuff really, I think, loses on that. So I took the pre-mastered tracks, and we're getting those remastered, so they'll be a little louder and a little crisper than the originals. But again, we're doing it for the same reason. Just so we didn't really release it properly, we can just give it a little bit more of an oomph. And here's the new CD cover. As you can see, we haven't just remastered the audio, we've remastered that picture. It's a lot brighter now, can you see? Yeah. Sounds good. So that's what's coming up, and we just deciding on a schedule and everything else. But the big news is we got 15 new songs that we're working on, and that means we have enough for a new EP and a new full-length CD. The full-length CD is going to probably take us a little bit longer to finish up. Ryan.
Yep. Most of that is because of me. How dare I have a family, a young family,
son of a,
and working. Yeah. What was I thinking? With a little 3-year-old and it's actually next month. My next little one is going to be born, so a lot of my time is what little time I had was like this is going to become more like this for a little while.
And so you better hurry up and get those basically. Anyway, right. This is becoming a trend on the show. Me keep doing that same.
Yeah, I know. You teasing me about not getting my work done, yeah.
But I finally got to get a baseline from him today. Here we go. Right. So what we've got coming up then is we're going to release the CD, the EP first. The EP is going to comprises of 3 tracks that is available online, not to purchase. Though we had various videos and it was backing for something, but we've taken them. Never really got them mastered, so we've got them remastered. We got one song which is out there. He's Gonna Find You, which I've actually recorded a couple of extra tracks on there. That's going to be a brand new. Well, no, it won't be a brand new recording. I think the guitar and the bass with the original tracks got new vocals on there. So He's Gonna Find You was the Bond song and a brand new song. Oh, one of those older songs that I was referring to is, of course, the Invisible Man song, the theme tune for this show. Now, I'd like to actually put this out there. I'd like you guys to have a look at both of these versions here. We're going to release the EP and we're going to call it The Invisible Man. Here we go. I've got a couple of images here. Oh, did I do the right? I didn't. I clicked the wrong button. There we go. So there's a potential CD cover. I'd like you guys to have a look at these two and see which one you prefer. So this will have a number of there'll be 5 songs on this EP. And there we go. And I'll switch between the two. Oh, this one. Ooh, I wish I could hear what you're saying. Because there'll be people going, I don't like that at all. I like the first one. But anyway, so leave your if you've got a preference, leave your comments in the chat, and we will take that into consideration. And sometimes it depends which one I look at first. Depends which one I like the most. I think I always like the second one I see more. Anyway, so there you go. So that one where he's invisible. Yeah. The invisible man's invisible. There's a visible man with some colour. Anyhow, so let us know in the chat. And if we get nothing, no input, I'm going to go with whichever one I feel like at the time when we get to go. Oh, toggle them again, says Chris. Let's toggle them again. There we go. I can do that a few more times for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh. There we are.
Fading away.
I'll do that a few times.
Back. Yeah.
There we are. Okay. So that'll be good. So that's coming up. And we have one brand new song that actually Gavin and I have written. Oh, actually, sorry, Ryan. Came about because Ryan. So Ryan's actually got writing credit on this one. So it was written by me and Ryan and Gavin. Gavin wrote the lyrics, and I pretty much got the melody for the verse and chorus from Ryan. Got the lead in and the groove and the feel of the song. If it hadn't been for that, the song would not have been written. Okay, I'm just gonna toggle that once or twice, and we're gonna give you a little hint of that. We're gonna tease that in just a few minutes. Okay, so there we go. I'm just gonna flip that back if I can get the right one. There you go.
Yeah, I'll give you a little teaser about that one. That riff that we'll play for you in a little bit, that came about because of a sleepless night. I for no reason other than I was just awake and I had the sound in my head, and so I went and played around with it, and that's what it became.
Okay, got a couple of.
That's just how it goes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some comments there. We'll just like John Goskowski, So I'm sorry I did a Ryan there and messed up.
Hey, it's okay. There's enough. We all
Yeah.
can mispronounce people's names wrong.
So yes, Ryan, recording is tough. You come back the next day with fresh ears and say, "Yuck, I did that?" ? I actually I find the whole thing very. I find it very difficult to do my best performance when I'm also being the technician as well. I find it very difficult to switch the hats that quickly. But I do that. I'll come back the next day and go, "Oh no, I was really nasally there," or it was clipping, or I'm a bit flat. But I don't notice it till the next day because I'm wearing the other hats during that. Anyhow, Muttley says, "Just bought Mark's EP2. Yes, I love you, man. You're wonderful. That's 2 I've sold now."
Apparently, Muttley has all the money, man. He keeps buying stuff. That a boy.
Chris.
Apparently, Chris is saying my 3-year-old daughter can help produce. I'm sure she will, but she won't sit still for more than about 3 seconds on my knee. And then she'll be off doing whatever she wants. So we could give her a credit. There you go. An honorary credit.
Okay, Muttley says he likes the grey shadow. The grey shadow has a spy versus spy vibe. That's good. Chris suggests front and back. And John says, do holographic, both pics.
Sure, no problem. Now you have to wrap around shades and a mullet too.
You know what? That sounds like a challenge. I'm going to see if I can. Oh, I see. No promises. That sounds like a challenge.
Nice.
Chris Lady says, make the background a cartoon brain? ? Interesting.
Maybe. We're not going to get too into Futurama there with the giant floating brains going around, are we?
And so Muttley commenting on John's comment there. Remember those pics that you could tilt and they change? Do that. Oh, here we go.
That's it. Muttley just put in his goal in life is to own 365 non-stop days of music. Hey, that's an honorable goal. No problem.
We'll buy 360 days worth of our music. Okay, it's the same thing over and over again, but I mean...
There you go.
Oh, Chris wants me to add an arm with a cocktail. Maybe that would be on the back, because the Bond song is on that, and the cocktails and the martinis. That could work.
There you go.
That could work. Yeah. So I love the ideas, guys. So thanks for that.
No, that's great.
And this is going to be just a tease. We're going to release. I think that if I've got the mix done by the time Gavin's on the show next, we'll play the whole song for you then. But I haven't quite decided. But this is going to be on the new CD. We haven't released this one. So Gavin, George, as you may remember, that I challenged him to write that between us we would write one song a month. And I've still got to get on his back because he still owes me some lyrics. But anyway, this is a new one. We're going to play maybe just the first verse and also you can get a taste for it. Coming for you. And Ryan, we're going to be on the screen the whole time. All right, just so you're aware. All right. Is it going?
It's totally amazing, whatever it is, so I'll share it with me. If you like it, you will follow. If you don't, I'll feel the sorrow and analyze what it means. Fists, kicks, and furry things, religious nuts and bees that sting. Buy a gun, support the team, it's true. They're coming for you.
That was too much. That was more than a tease. You got almost half the song. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Oh, Muttley's sold on the riff already. Da 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 da. There we go.
Yes. Validation.
So that's coming.
Muttley, if I ever come over to the UK, I'm buying you a beer. There you go. That's what
I think the full length CD is going to have a lot more of the some softer tracks. We've played I think one of them on the show already. But you'll have to find out what they all are. But some very acoustic-y kind of sounding songs as well. We'll see how they end up getting mixed because you never know. Some songs tend to like going in. We were talking about earlier. Once we get in there and we start adding things here, and I can hear something different, and I add this and add that. They can end up being a lot different than we originally intended. Because I don't usually have an idea of. I write a song, And I don't really know how it's. Generally, I don't even know how I want it to sound. It just kind of comes together as we add things. So we'll find out. You'll find out when I do. We'll see.
Well, you see, I guess that's really kind of different because all the stuff that I've ever like really sent to you is like, hey, we're gonna use this as the core. I don't mind adding stuff or subtracting stuff from it, but this kind of has to be the feel for it, and we kind of build off that. Whereas I felt like when we've either tried to do something collaboratively, or if you've come at something, it's a lot more easier. I'm a little bit more specific, where it's like, no, I want it to sound like this. This has to be the core of the root. And so when I sent that opening riff to Mark, I said, I don't care how the rest of it sounds, but this has to be in the song, right? This could be a interstitial, this could be a bridge, this could be whatever you want it to be, but this has to be here in some capacity. And then I think for Never Goes the Way You Want, and also for it never goes the way you want. I basically said this is the core of the song. Actually, this is what I want.
I'm going to interrupt you here. That's absolutely true on this last one because we weren't in the same room. But Never Goes the Way You Want came out of a jam. It wasn't something you gave me. Yeah. That you didn't just say this is what I've got and I went away and worked on it. We came away with much of that from. That's true.
I think I was more worried about the content. I think I was like, no, I want this song to be about this. I don't want it. I don't really care about how it sounds. We'll make that sound there. But I think it was just more like, this is what I want the theme of the song to be about. Right? Just that long, awkward, cold walk home because things didn't quite go the way they planned, or didn't go to plan, or whatever. Right? So
John Goskowicz, I hope that's closer. I'm sorry, John. I don't think I've ever been able to. I don't know.
We'll call him Johnny G. That's what we'll call him, Johnny G.
Says, I remember that Todd Rundgren, Brian, maybe you should read this one, said that when mixing down, don't try too hard to fill the empty spaces. That's good. That's good advice. Good advice.
Todd Rundgren, I think is Rundgren. Rundgren.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe the more I think about it, the more I'm going to overthink about it, and the stupider it's going to sound.
Indeed.
So
okay, I just realized what the time was. We are. The clock is spinning like we're in a time machine, going forward in time. We got one more track to play for you guys. It is "I'm Alive," which is off the CD, and this is actually a video. Actually, no, maybe we should talk about the. No, I'll start. I've started, so I'll finish. The video itself is not an animation. It's actually a slideshow. Every frame that you see, every 4 seconds it changes. That's a different image that I created in a program called paint.net. I did this before I learned how to do animation. So I would approach this completely differently now. And I was contemplating on redoing the video, but we'll see. It's a lot of work, so I don't know. Maybe I'll save my animation for the newer songs. But as I was picking songs for what we're going to play today, this one actually, surprisingly, I think it holds up. It has a certain originality to it. Again, it's more of a slideshow than an animation, but there is a sense of movement in it. And I'll hand over to you if you remember what the song was about, because this one was another one that came out of a jam, and this is one that wouldn't be around if you hadn't been around, right?
I don't remember what we had initially said. I just remember that. I just remember you had tasked me with writing a verse for this song, and it was horrible.
Yeah. But that was later. That was down the road, yeah. And I was like, okay, great.
I'm really struggling to remember why or where I remember jamming and coming up with the kind of the core of the song, but I don't really remember what about.
I think the "I'm Alive." I think it was probably something I ad-libbed. Oh, I like that, because that would happen quite a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, keep that. That was good.
That's definitely.
So the lyrics aren't really that deep. It's just I found you're wonderful and you make me feel like I'm alive. That's the gist of the song. Anyhow, so there it is. I'm Alive, and the video is a bit of, as I usually do with these videos, is actually the topic isn't about love. I kind of twisted it a little bit, and the more I thought about I'm Alive, I was thinking about Frankenstein. It's alive! Anyhow, so this is, I guess, more of a Halloween-style video. Here it is. I'm Alive.
alone. Now everything's turned around. I should have known because of you. I'm alive, and I hold on to you. I'm so alive when I'm stepping out with you. Never thought I would see the day when I belong to you. Oh, I'm alive. There's no more need to move on. I'm living a dream, such a dream. Laying here in your arms is everything. It's really you. I'm alive, and I hold on to you. I'm so alive, and I'm stepping out with you. Never thought I would see the day when I belong to you. Oh, I'm alive. I'm alive, and I hold on to you. I'm so alive, and I'm stepping out with you. Never thought I would see the day when I belong to you. Oh, I'm alive. I clearly remember the time when I was alone, so alone. Now everything's turned around. I should have known because of you. I'm alive, and I hold on to you. I'm so alive, and I'm stepping out with you. Never thought I would see the day when I belong to you. Oh, I'm alive. Oh, I'm alive. Oh, I'm alive.
There we go. I'm alive. I'm alive as well.
I love the payoff to my red Chuck Taylors. I had a pair of those red Chuck Taylors. Those were my gig shoes. Everyone has like their so I'd wear skinny jeans that were cuffed with a pair of red Chuck Taylors to pay tribute to the 10th Doctor. That's where that came from.
Oh, there we
So
go.
David-
I do remember you telling me now. Now you said it out loud. Yeah, and it's funny because I still wear wingtips, or if you're in the UK, brogues. I still wear those. I still wear that. I've gone through a few pairs since though, but those are my stage shoes. There we are. So
The red Chuck Taylors or Converse, those are the ones that So some people had assumed because I grew up in the 90s that it was grunge related, which I can't say that it wasn't 100% that, but it was moreover when I bought those shoes, I saw a pair of red high top shoes that I was like, those look exactly like what was the one with the series with Martha in it, Martha Jones, right?
Yeah, Martha Jones was one of them.
Yeah, where the hospital is taken up in the middle of nowhere or onto the moon, and a platoon of Jadoon upon the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I'm thinking.
He was wearing them in that episode. So
okay, I'm thinking we could do a semi Doctor Who episode because we got a Doctor Who song That's on the CD as well.
We could. And that one's guaranteed to get a good laugh out of me.
Well, actually, yeah. And for those of you who are not sure if I'm really a Doctor Who fan, or you just look up there. I got 2 Daleks. Come on, for crying out loud. and I've got my TARDIS here. Oh no, it broke. Anyway. Was that David Tennant in there? Oh, man. There was an episode like that. Anyhow. Because my picture of John Pertwee on the wall, and all of the Doctor Who figurines I've got somewhere else as well. Anyhow, see, this is why we got to. You can't start talking about Doctor Who because I won't stop. Okay, I can't remember if I read. I don't think I've read these, but this is a good one. I think I should read it the second time if I didn't read it the first. John says, "Nice vocals, thank you, John." I had to read that one for obvious reasons. Thanks a lot. Chris Lady says, "Awesome," and then he says, "Cool." I'm assuming about your shoes. And Muttley says, I love brogues. Digging the bat in the belfry vid. Thanks, John. It was one of those. I did redo the bat. It's full animation, basically the same design. And I don't know. This one seems to kind of comes to work. We've got Chris agrees. Chris Lady says, I'll help promote the Doctor. So maybe if we do a Doctor Who episode, then that'll help us out there.
There you go.
Okay, I'll read it out. So Muttley has a slightly long comment here. After my amputation, the first thing I bought was an £80 pair of lambskin inner brogues from Slater's. All my life I could never wear them as they wouldn't have fits and would have been painful. So I promised myself if I had an amputation and I could walk with prostheses, I would treat myself to a nice pair. Well, good for you. Always make something, little something and a bad, make something negative, make something positive during a negative. That's great. So thanks for sharing that with us, Muttley.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
Awesome.
We are over our hour, although I know me and Ryan will probably talk for another 2 hours afterwards anyway.
Easily.
And actually, I just mentioned that the reason why we started doing the show is because Ryan and I would talk forever about this stuff. And I thought, well, why don't we just record it? And anyhow. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, for being, especially for those of you who have been active in the chats. It's been great. Nice seeing some of you guys return, and a couple of people there that and you as well. So come back next week. It will be great. I forget who's on. Who do we have on next week, Ryan? Do you remember?
No, I don't. I was actually too busy thinking about the Doctor Who song video.
I'm going to look it up because I should have that. My memory is awful. So rooftop static. I did know that.
There you go.
Because Russell had contacted me a couple of days ago, so I should have remembered that. So rooftop static with Russell Chan will be with us, and I'm assuming some other members of the band as well. We'll find out for sure. So thanks, Muttley. I'll take care of you as well. And we'll catch you all next week with Rooftop Static. And any news about our music can be found. You can go to our website, allinthemindband.com if you want. We haven't really been keeping it up to date, but the Invisible Man show page, Facebook page, and the invisibleman.ca will definitely have updates as well. So as long as you're following one of those, you'll catch it all. And of course, we'll keep you up to date as we have news on the show. So thank you very much. We'll catch you all next week.
Right. Take care, all.
Let's catch you later. Thanks. Bye.
Oh,